Hi.
Welcome back to
The Only Problem.
I am one of your hosts. My name is Andy Matsky, and that is
Santino Vitale.
and we are here today to talk about another movie that I've never seen before, and that is Napoleon Dynamite.
That is Napoleon Dynamite. The thing is, though, before we launch into Napoleon Dynamite, I became aware as we were trying to figure out what movies you have or haven't seen, that there were several movies I thought for sure Andy hasn't seen this. And then you're like, oh, I did see that.
Yeah.
But relatively recently. And I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on what those were.
So speed round.
Yeah, a little
movies
speed
Andy's
round.
actually seen
Movies
that didn't make the cut for movies Andy hasn't seen.
But that are recent views.
Okay.
Because these are, and I think what we'll do is we'll hit the ones that are classics. Because Napoleon Dynamite is a classic, depending on how we feel about that later on. But that classification, I think, fits. So first off, I've recently found out that you are a person who's seen Fight Club.
Yeah.
So when did you see Fight Club?
Forever ago.
How long ago is forever ago?
Like, probably pre-pandemic. So
Really?
Yeah, 5+ years
I didn't
ago.
realize it was that long ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you watch it? Did you rent it? Was it just on
We
TV?
watched it. It was me and my friends were doing a sleepover. I want to say it was for New Year's. Maybe it was like New Year's 2020. So 2019 and 2020. And we stayed up and we watched it at like midnight. So we were up till like 3 a.m. watching it. And they had seen it before. I hadn't. I don't know if both of them had seen it before because I was with two of my friends, I think. And
You think you were with your friends, or you think they were your friends?
no, I think I was with them.
I was with two people.
They
may
were
or may
my
not have been
friends,
my
yeah.
friends. Okay. So you stayed up late to watch it.
Yeah.
It
I
was-
liked it as I was like, quick math. I was like,
In like 18,
oh no.
17?
Yeah, it would have been like 17, which makes me feel like it was
That's
about
about when I saw
I
it.
feel like it was earlier. And because it was like, ooh, it was edgy, and I liked it because it was edgy, which we were like transitioning out of that at like 18
Right.
in my revisionist history.
The
of looking
the
back on
edginess
my
of
mind.
18.
So I liked it. I liked the acting. I thought it was creative.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about it though.
Okay. Well, so you've only seen it once.
I've seen it a couple times.
Oh,
Seen it
okay.
A couple
So
times
you've seen it a
since
couple times. That was your first time seeing
Yeah.
it. See, I think I saw it around 17, thereabouts.
Mm-hmm.
There was a whole run. My life kind of happened in little pieces. So there'd be like a section from like 4 to 6 where I saw all these things and then nothing. And then a section from 10 to 12 where I saw all these things and then nothing. And so my R-rated movie experience started at 15 with Reservoir Dogs. And then from there, it was like one hit after another. And Fight Club was on IFC, which they air things, of course, uncensored, uncut, and in the proper aspect ratio, which is great. And I don't remember if they air it without commercials. I think they do. And so I watched it, and that was about when I saw it. They showed it back to back. And so unfortunately, I didn't see Fight Club the way you should see it. I caught it from the middle, saw it to the end, and then caught the beginning on the instant replay till the middle. And it ruined my viewing experience of it. I had to wait like another 6 months to a year and then rewatch the thing from the start and go, okay.
Yeah,
it was still cool.
I knew nothing about it going in, and so the reveal is like, it's like whoa.
So that fully, so you were fully impressed.
I think
by
so.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I
Fully
wasn't
fooled.
because
Yeah.
I didn't get the setup. So I get it from the middle.
That's awful.
Yeah. And then like when they're like, we're the same person, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
stupid.
Like, why would that be?
And like the first part of the movie starts like such a comedy. It's like a black comedy. And then it slowly derails into like this darker thing. And so I caught it when it was already dark. And then when I caught the beginning, the first half of the movie, I'm like, this is like two different movies.
Yeah.
But then, of course, rewatch it and I appreciated it. So, all right.
I'm gonna cut you off.
Yeah.
This goes at the beginning of the episode. We're gonna spoil a bunch of movies in this episode.
No, this goes right now. This goes at the end of the episode. By the way, we're spoiling a bunch of movies.
I'm fine with whoever edits this putting it wherever they want in the episode. We're spoiling Fight Club and other movies
lot of
and
movies.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Which,
Other
let's be
movies.
honest, there's
They're-
nothing
they're-
really to spoil with Napoleon Dynamite.
We'll get
Right,
there.
We'll get there. But there's
also,
other movies, there are things that can be spoiled. But look, if you haven't seen Fight Club by now,
yeah, that's true. And you're listening. If you're listening to
The Only Problem.
before you're watching Fight Club,
Re-
you're either in a
reprioritize your
very,
life.
you're either in a very, I don't know the right word. I want to say niche, but not so niche. Like if you're either a person who just doesn't watch radar movies, and I respect that. especially if it's going to be Fight Club, that it's off your list for sure. But either that or I don't know what you're doing. So, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
More specifically, so jumping into what you liked about Fight Club. I feel like the cinematography is the first thing that catches most people.
Probably. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
you've
think
seen it, what, 2 or 3 times?
I think I've seen it like one. I've seen it. I think I've tried to rewatch it a few times and not really
So
been
this
able to.
could actually have been a movie on the list
No,
of movies Andy's
I mean,
never
I've seen it, and I
Okay.
know if you want like a fresh take, it's not
Yeah.
that.
Well, I mean, from what you recall.
But like, I like the cinematography. I mean, the build up to they're the same person's neat with like the flashes. You know, mostly those are pretty cool.
the one frame, single frame when
Yeah.
he shows up. He shows up, I think, 4 or 5 times before you actually see him.
Yeah, I think that's
introduced
cool.
as a character. Did you?
I like
catch
Brad Pitt.
him in all of? Did you know where he is in every one of those, right?
I probably know most of them, if not all of
I
them.
feel like most people catch him in the meeting, like in the testicular cancer meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Did you catch him on? Because this is the one I missed, and I think it's the one most people miss. When Ed Norton's in the hotel during one of the many montages, and you see him watching a TV, and on the TV you see a whole line of guys who work at the hotel dressed in white suits, and they all go, "Welcome." He's on the far. Tyler Durden's on the far
Wow.
right. Yeah,
I
I
don't know if
missed him
caught
there.
that, yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of that kind of stuff in that movie.
that's cool.
I feel like the soundtrack is something that would have impressed a young Andy.
Maybe
Because it's so unorthodox. It's all like trap beats and
Yeah. I don't
there's
know.
No real
See,
score.
like, what's weird is I feel like I've seen other movies that have done that have like a
yeah, but that was
sound.
like one of the first. Is the
Yeah,
thing.
but
That was
I had
99.
seen other ones beforehand,
and it kind of ruins your
Yeah.
whole
so it wasn't necessarily new.
yeah. See, up to that point, that was the only movie I'd ever seen that did that. And so when I was watching it, I was like, well, that's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
And I can't fathom it with a traditional score. And they
Yeah,
were
oh,
gonna
no.
get Radiohead to do it, and then Radiohead didn't do it, so it ended up being the Dust Brothers. But
Yeah.
there's so much about that movie that's become iconic, and the weird thing about it is there's so much of it that shouldn't work because it's not really a traditional plot. It doesn't really have, because you talk about the build-up, and yeah, there is a build-up, but it's kind of happening in the background. It's not this overt thing that
Yeah.
goes, hey, there's a mystery here you need to unravel. It's more like we're just watching this guy's life fall apart, and then they're living in this abandoned place, and then they're fighting each other. And then, there's Meatloaf with, big man boobs, and like all this stuff is happening, and then just kind of derails into we're a terrorist organization now, and also it's a romance. That's the one
Yeah.
thing that no one ever talks about is like, it is actually a romantic comedy. That's like what the author always gets mad about. He's like, from what I remember, I think he said in an interview once that like everybody always says it's this and it's this. And he goes, but nobody ever says it's like a romance.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And the author's done more, right?
Yeah.
There's
Chuck
like,
Palahniuk's done a lot.
and I mean, like, he's done more Fight Clubs. I didn't say that right. So he's done another. There's like a Fight Club 2 graphic novel, right? Have you read that?
No.
There is a Fight Club 2 graphic novel. I'm pretty
Okay,
sure.
I wasn't
That's
sure.
not a complete question.
Yeah.
I'm setting you up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I haven't read it. I
I
don't
haven't
read
either.
very many comics.
I don't read a lot anymore.
He says, and there's an entire shelf just off screen.
Yeah,
If you guys could see the amount of comics that are just within my field of
they're
view.
not just for me.
Still, that's a
This
lot.
isn't just my
Your
Pee Wee's
bunker.
Playhouse
Yeah.
bunker.
In
Not
the North
just.
Atlantic.
Yeah, the lake's right up there.
Mhm.
The Lake Atlantic.
Right. Yeah, right in the middle of Lake Erie, Atlantic. But no, so ultimate, because I know when we do these movies Andy hasn't seen, we assign it. I think we were assigning it a star value, and then we were assigning it whether or not it has your heart. And it was a 1 out of 10 stars, and then it was like, does it
Okay.
have Andy's heart? So Fight Club.
It at star rating.
Mm-hmm.
Having not seen it in a while, I'm gonna give it like a 7,
Okay.
which I'm pretty
that's
sure is
fair.
lower than I put The Fugitive.
It is. I forget
But
what you
yeah,
gave The Fugitive.
I
should be
definitely like
keeping
The
score.
Fugitive
Mm.
more than I like Fight Club.
Yeah. And that's a fair assessment. Like,
Yeah.
I knew that was going to
Like,
basically
enjoy.
be
This is
a 7 is still
Yeah.
a great.
Se-
7 is like modern classic as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned. 6 is a good movie. 5 is enjoyable but flawed. Anything under a 5 is like garbage.
yeah. And then I don't think Fight Club has my heart. It might have at one point, but it does not. It's
Okay.
not like I don't take part of that movie
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like start a conversation about Fight Club.
I see.
Right.
Right.
Maybe because it's overdone. Like if it wasn't a thing that every
you feel
edgy...
too film bro about
Oh, yeah.
it. Yeah.
But
It
when I
has
bring up The
gotten that rap.
Fugitive,
Mm-hmm.
do not feel like film bro. I feel like I'm...
Well, The Fugitive's just
Yeah.
a solid flick. I think that's a fair assessment because I remember hearing the director, Fincher. He didn't tell me personally.
Yeah,
But
I remember David
hearing
told
it-
me,
You know, me and Noel Fincher, we go way back. But I remember him saying, like, in an interview, like, his daughter was telling him, like, oh, you know, one of my best friends, like, his favorite movie is Fight Club. And he's like, you shouldn't be friends with him. He's like, that shouldn't be your favorite movie.
Yeah.
But it is a really well-made.
There's a David Fincher movie that does have my heart, though.
And
Do
which
you
one is
know
that?
which one it is?
Is it Zodiac?
Yes.
How did
Zodiac
I
has
know
my heart.
the longest, slowest, second most boring Fincher film was the
I
one
love
that had
that
your heart?
movie.
How
I
many
haven't-
times have you seen that?
Like 3 or 4, I think.
Wow. It took me 3 or 4 times to even be able to enjoy it because the first two just.
I really liked it. Again, I haven't seen it in a while, but like, there's the needle drop. What like has stayed with me is
Hurdy-gurdy man. When
there's the Marvin Gaye needle drop, which is Inner City Blues. Inner City Blues. While there's like a skyscraper being built, and then it's like that's how they. I don't know.
That's the passage of time.
And I just like, I don't know. I really like it's about the newspaper. I mean, because it's based on the book. It's about the newspaper guy, and there's all this stuff going on. Jake Gyllenhaal, like great cast, great. I don't know. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it definitely. It's a well-made movie. That was the first one that he ever shot like digitally. I think he shot on the Viper. I'm not 100% sure if that's even a thing that's made anymore. But that movie, that was one of the, I think, 3rd or 4th movies of his that I had seen by that point. And it just, the first couple times I watched it, I was just like, ah. But once you realize like how authentic he's staying to the case, like there's this anecdote that the crew tell about how when, I think it was the murder where it was the couple that were on a picnic and they were scouting to film on the real location. And they're there and they're setting things up and Fincher's like, he's like, I forget if he was yelling or doing something like test the sound. And he's going, I don't think we're in the right place. And like there were people there who knew what they were talking about. And they're like, no, this is the right place. He goes, no, because they said that, you know, they could hear or not hear, you know, this person scream or this sound. And he goes, but this isn't right. And turns out they weren't in the right spot. And he took them to the right spot and was like, no, we got to be here. And so they grabbed a tree and ripped it out of the ground and flew it, like helicoptered a tree to that spot.
Wow.
So that it would be accurate. He's really obsessive about making sure the details of all that were correct and the right number of everything. Everything had to be correct. And have you ever seen Mindhunter, the series?
No.
Mindhunter is a depressing, really dark series. It's David Fincher. They've got 2 seasons so far, but it is fascinating and it is supremely well made. I believe I want to say it's like 8. It's been a while since I've seen it. It's either 8 or 10 episodes a season, but it's all the thing that you have to know going into it because it'll enrich your experience watching it. Like it's a cool crime procedural, right? It's true crime. But the thing that will really enrich your experience and make it far more suspenseful is the fact that, because I guess backing up, what it's about is it's about the FBI and their pursuits in the late 70s into the 80s to develop a method for profiling to help solve crimes and to be able to actually go, okay, well, this guy, he probably travels alone, probably a psychopath, probably does this, probably picks on these victims in these places, and they're able to do that. And so when they were building that curriculum, and the way they built the curriculum was by interviewing some serial killers that were already caught, and then just asking them anything. And they would tell them about how they do it and what they think and where they buried bodies and how they, and so most of the show is them just interviewing guys. And you would think that would be really boring, but what's so creepy about it is they were so historically accurate that they cast people who look exactly like the killers. And all of the dialogue that they say, at least in the interview sections, because the lead characters in the show are composite people. They're not real people. They're based on real people. But all of the interviews are verbatim taken from audio transcripts. They interview Manson, and it's the verbatim audio.
Wow.
They interview Ed Kemper, and it's the verbatim audio. And he talks about killing his mother and like all these insane things. And it's like, that's all stuff they said.
Wow.
And it sounds like if you go into it, like I saw the first couple episodes when it first came out, and I didn't know that. And so when it came to that like really gruesome stuff, I thought, okay, they're being extra gruesome because these are supposed to be serial killers. And then when I read that, oh no, this is actually what they said, I was like, uh-oh. That makes it so much more interesting.
Oh god.
Yeah. And the second season is even better because the second season, in the background of the whole thing, is the Atlanta child murders. And so they're actually, there's this really suspenseful thing going on through everything else in and around the character drama where they're actually trying to catch the Atlanta child murderer. And so they keep flying back to Atlanta from Virginia, and there's all these stakeouts and they keep picking people up, and that's not the guy. And then somebody else gets killed, and okay, what are we going to do? And I'm not spoiling anything by telling you that that's what it is, but it's a really great series. I highly doubt that it's going to get picked up for anything beyond that second season, because Netflix has a tendency to cancel their most successful things. But it's a really expensive show to make, which is part of the problem. But it's super historically accurate. And in the background of all these episodes, which, speaking of needle drops, I know I'm jumping around a bit, but speaking of needle drops, you would love some of the needle drops that they do in that show. There's, in the background of the show, there's the BTK killer, which I think
I know
his
a thing
deal
or
is.
two. Yeah.
Bind, torture, kill. And they didn't catch him until he kind of accidentally, like stupidly, gave away his position, like I think in the early 2000s. So this show taking place in the late 70s and the 80s, like they're never going to actually catch him. But they keep kind of checking in with him. And it's really ominous because episodes will start and you'll just see this guy like in his backyard, like burning pictures that he drew of torturing people. And then like he has a wife. And it's like the reason it took them so long to catch him is he doesn't fit any of the profile that they built before, because they're like, well, these psychopaths can't have a family, they can't hold down a regular job. He like worked for ADT or whatever, so he could go scope out prospective victims. He was in their houses, he could see their security, he could see if they had a dog. He'd plan it out and then he'd break in and do his thing. And there's a really creepy, really well placed needle drop of "In Every Dream Home a Heartache." I forget the band offhand that does that, but Roxy Music. And they play the song as he's doing this like really deviant thing in his home, and it's really creepy. And there's just some really cool. They also use a lot of Steely Dan in the show, which is, I've not heard Steely Dan used much in movies, so kind of about
and
time.
like true crime to boot, right?
Yeah, it's really interesting. But that's kind of an aside. Has really nothing to do with movies, but Fincher more specifically. So back to movies, and classics. Of the Fincher movies you've seen, so you've seen Fight Club, you've seen Zodiac, you've seen Panic Room.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
That was another one that I was surprised.
Trying to think of the other ones I've seen, and I couldn't think, and I forgot. That was
So when did you
Jared
see
Leto
Panic
and Cornrows has my heart. Boom.
Oh, it has your heart.
That can be.
It should.
That can be the whole review, but I like it. Another one I saw a long time ago.
Yeah.
High
school a long time ago.
High school a long time ago. I'm an old man now.
Excellent film.
Really good. I liked it. I think I was like, oh, that was good.
So, out of the cast, everybody thinks, okay, Leto, Cornrows, blah, 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 gives a good performance. But Raoul is played by Dwight Yoakam, the country singer, who also had, for a while, his own line of frozen foods. And they were called, and I wanted to bring this up specifically because I knew you'd get a kick out of this. He had these little frozen entrees called Dwight Yoakam's Take'ems and Dwight Yoakam's Pop'ems.
Where were
Chicken
these?
Lickens.
Where do you?
They were in like Midwest supermarkets for the longest time.
Okay, so like around here.
They used to be. I think the last place that had them was like Wisconsin. I think you can actually still maybe buy some on eBay. But let's see, Dwight Yoakam. Considering he's just, I don't want to say just a country singer to be disparaging, but like he did a really great job. Like singers often.
I don't remember who we're talking about.
He was the guy who wore the mask for most of the thing, the real villain of the movie, because Forrest Whitaker's
I don't really remember anything about
You don't remember
this movie.
anything about
This
Panic
also,
Room.
yeah, not really.
So this
I remember
really
the
could
oneer,
have been
and Jared Leto and Cornrows, and she's in a panic room.
See, this
is there a
you need
kid
to
in that
rewatch
movie?
it. Yeah, Kristen Stewart, man.
Oh,
like an
yeah.
11-year-old Kristen Stewart. Forrest Whitaker is the other guy.
I forgot about Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah. And so Forrest Whitaker is
I'm
like
not rewatch. Hey, this is
thief with the
movies
heart of gold.
Andy's never seen, and we're staying true to that. I
well,
have seen
This is something
Panic
you need
Room.
to rewatch for your own purposes.
I've seen it.
Yeah, but you
Don't
don't
remember a thing about it.
Right.
Well, then it's maybe it doesn't.
No,
It's not that good.
Bite your
if
tongue.
it hasn't
It's
stayed, if
very
it hasn't
good.
stayed with me.
You don't know what you're talking about is the problem. You've been too far away from it. Here we go. Dwight Yoakam's Chicken Lickens, chicken fries.
Wow.
Dwight Yoakam's Chicken Lickens Buffalo Bites.
Those look really good. I'm going to be honest, that all looks really good.
And Take'ems, breakfast burritos.
Take'ems.
Pop'ems, Lick'ems, Chicken Lickens pizza fries.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so good.
I believe these are all discontinued now. Bakersfield biscuits. I don't know, but they were around for a while.
Did you ever have them?
No. I found out about them after I saw him in the movie. I was like, that guy did a really great performance. What else has he done? I'm like, oh, he's a country singer. Oh, he has frozen foods. Dwight Yoakam's Take'ems. So that's fun.
That is wild.
Yeah. But, okay, so Panic Room, it's a good movie. You forget most of it. You refuse to watch it again because apparently you have some code of honor that you won't. Yeah. You'll never watch a movie twice.
Yeah.
So I think those were the main two that we ran into when we were trying to figure out what is Andy going to watch next. I know you've never seen any Tarantino yet. And I know you've yet to see Seven. So Seven's going to be on the list very soon. What we do need to address, though, and we're going to address it on air so that the audience can understand what I have to deal with here in terms of assigning you movies, is Andy has a boob clause, which he refuses to explain.
We're going to talk about this on air.
Yeah, he refuses to explain what this means.
Because I think I said a joke that did its intended purpose of just...
Yeah,
thoroughly confusing you, and I don't want to explain it.
Right.
I mean, we can have. Hey guys, here's a peek into Santino and I's text messages. It's me saying, I cite the boob clause.
Yeah, he. I believe you said I invoke the boob clause.
Probably.
And I was like, I didn't know we had a boob clause.
Yeah, I invoked the boob clause on. I think I invoked it on a movie, didn't I?
No, you were just saying in general, like make sure this movie is.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
Well, so, okay. I understand what you mean, which is I don't want something with explicit sex or nudity in it.
Yeah.
But when I asked for clarification, I was like, okay, does that mean like there just can't be boobs in the movie at all?
Well, no. I think what we're missing, to be fair, you said how many? And I think I said
two on one woman.
I think I said two
different
which
women,
I realized could be taken multiple different ways. And I stand by it. I stand by two.
You said, and I quote, "Let the reader understand."
Yeah, because that's you know what I'm saying there, right? Because it's in quotes. That's Paul talks about being talked up. Yeah, I know. So I said, "Let the reader."
I know, but I'm saying that doesn't help me understand because does that completely? Does that? You see what I have to deal with?
That's why
you see what I have to deal with. There are so many fantastic movies, and I don't know if I can recommend them because I'm like, there might be one set of boobs that show up for like a split second, and I don't know if this nullifies your boob clause or not.
What do you think? Do you think if you sneak that in there, that like I just won't do the show anymore? Like
I don't know. I don't know like how serious the boob clause is.
That's the ramifications of the clause. I don't know. I just don't want to see that.
Okay, but again,
I am willing to draw the line where I understand that to be.
Well, I have to understand it because I'm the one making the friggin' recommendations, man. Like, I can't be like, well, you should be able to like this. And then you're like, well, that was too much. And I'm like, well, good, noted. I don't, I won't have to go there. That's why I said, like, is it just like.
It's anything explicit.
Well, okay, but see, technically, explicit is different than nudity. There can be nudity in a non-sexual context.
I don't want nudity.
Okay, that's going to make things a lot more difficult because there are a lot of really fantastic movies that have like a speck of nudity. And like, if that's ruled out.
That's the rule.
I might have to break that rule because there's some movies you got to see.
You should edit Me Together movies. I'll watch a jump cutted version of.
Yeah. If you think I'm going to sit around, I've got enough crap to do. If you think I'm going to sit around and like blur things out or like put a black box that goes, Andy, don't look here on every movie I send you. I narrate over the scene. I just black it out. And I'm like, and now they're making sweet, sweet love. They're still going. Nothing to see here, child.
I meant edit.
How about a joke?
Just like cut. I meant just cut. So when you invoked the black bar, it was not at all what I was thinking. Right. It was very funny.
Because at least then you still have the scene. You just don't have.
I don't need this. I don't need it.
Yeah.
I don't need to see that.
Well,
That's their business.
it's their business. It's gonna be your business too. That's the problem. See, this is the thing. There are movies that I mean, there are movies I avoid because I'm like, especially since I watch a lot of movies with my dad. I like watching movies with my dad, but you know how awkward it is.
You guys went and saw Nosferatu together, and I
There's really
could
not-
not believe that.
There's really not a lot going on in Nosferatu. Like, not that much.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I haven't
Yeah.
seen it.
No, I saw. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert: Nosferatu sucks. That movie.
I just peaked the audio.
That movie sucks. It's way too long. Here's
Yeah.
what you're missing. Okay, you've seen. The
I was
original
excited
Nosferatu.
about it
Yeah.
a long time ago, but I'd rewatch it.
So I'm gonna give a major spoiler to anybody who hasn't seen the movie. It's a major spoiler, but by the time this episode comes out, the movie will have been out for like months. Nosferatu is iconic for basically two reasons. One, it was a silent movie, so it was kind of creepy because of the way they lit it, and it was all like the German expressionists. And then two, because of his design, right? That tall, creepy, with the long
he's around here
fingers and-
somewhere.
yeah, he's
There's one over there. Yeah.
Yeah. They took the two things that were creepy about Nosferatu and got rid of it. It's just a very dark movie.
Okay.
It's not immaculately photographed. It's well exposed. It's just dark. It's mostly single light sources. There's nothing like people are.
There's
gonna get
nothing
mad at me.
German expressiony about it. So
No,
it's like
not at all.
not like exaggerated architecture. Okay.
Nope. And not even
Which
like
I
a lot of
didn't
exaggerated
expect
shadows.
necessarily.
I really expected, after seeing The Lighthouse and after seeing, a lot of movies that A24 puts out, these more, and even Focus Features that put out these more art house movies, I expected something very, very painterly in its utilization of cinematography, and instead you basically just get like a scene that's black but with a candle in it for most of the movie. It's like this is
sucks,
stuff, and people are going to get mad at me when I say this. This is going to sound like a really big brag because I'm not a cinematographer in any right, but all the scenes they did, with the exception of maybe a handful of shots that were like really nice shots. But aside from those few shots, most of that movie is stuff I did on like Bell Witch. Like it's not that hard. It's not that it's ugly. It's just, it's not like, it's not this painterly thing. It's just like there's some candles and there's some dark shadows. And that
The
always looks
2020 film Mark of the Bell Witch
Mark of the
from
Bell Witch.
Small Town Monsters.
Small Town Monsters.
Go check it out.
Yeah. And I mean, that works and it's
Yeah.
period accurate, but it's not like this super artistic thing. Point is, they took
That's
away
fair.
the expressionist and they gave Nosferatu a mustache.
I can't believe that.
They gave him a
I
mustache.
can't believe that, man.
Yeah.
I tried looking up pictures of it, and when the last time I did, there was like no photos.
Yeah, they were
on the
keeping
internet
it. They were
yet.
really doing
There might be
well
now,
to try to
but-
scrub it from the internet, but it's, yeah. They gave him a mustache. Basically, he just looks like kind of an old Russian guy. And he talks really slow. And he talks in English most of the time. So part of what also humanizes a monster is when they speak.
Yeah, it's
So
weird. He
if you-
talks a lot.
Yeah, if he has to talk a lot, then make him speak Romanian, which he does a little bit, but not a lot. So
Well, so a movie I've never gotten through. This is on the movies Andy's never watched all of list.
all of okay,
Is Bram Stoker's Dracula?
terrible, horrendous.
They make him go. They'd make him talk with an accent in that one.
Mhm.
This was before the boob clause. I know. Hey,
Yeah.
I'll point that out before you
Before
do.
the boob clause. And he's a hypocrite, guys.
But I
Send your hate
also,
mail.
hey, before we hate on that movie, the first like 10 minutes of that movie are one of the best openings of a movie,
It's cool.
hands down. The soundtrack, incredible. Like, you're telling me that's not a banging way to open a movie?
Yeah, except it's just Dracula. All
Yeah, it's
Dracula,
Dracula.
movies open the same way. They all do the same thing. And
Do they? Do they
Yeah.
all open with like medieval times?
okay, are
Bram
you talking about
Stoker's
the very
Francis Ford
opening?
Coppola's Bram Stoker's
Yeah.
Dracula.
Okay, you're talking about the very opening. I
Yes.
thought you meant like just Winona Ryder out in the garden.
the opening.
Okay,
of the
because
movie.
they all start with her out in the garden. So we're talking
Yes.
very first minutes. Okay, I'm on board. I see what we're
Yeah,
talking about.
that's
it's
awesome.
cool.
And, like,
the rest of
so
the movie
stylized.
is not that great.
I like the style of it a lot, and you knowing me is kind of like duh.
Yeah.
But I like the style of it, but I've never been able to get all the way through.
It's
And
really
I've
not worth it.
tried, and I can't. We are half an hour into our Napoleon Dynamite episode.
Well, and this is good because I don't know how much we're going to have to say about Napoleon
Which
Dynamite.
is valid, which is good. I honestly, I was kind of thinking that too.
This is kind of why I was padding things out because I wasn't sure how it was going to go.
Yeah.
But this conversation regarding Dracula, I think, is relevant because it's another classic.
Yeah.
But the thing that ultimately struck me when we watched Nosferatu was this. You stayed so close to the source material that it was boring. And you made the thing way too long. There were literally times, the majority of the time, where the camera would be moving this slowly towards something or panning to something. And then he talks like this. I'm not exaggerating. That's it. And it's like, wow. Oh, gosh. Okay. And I mean, and then at the end, we do the same thing we always do. Sunlight comes up and, he was feeding on her all night. The sun comes up and he dies and she dies and everything's depressing and there's a lot of rats and there's a lot of death. And it's like, okay, really not that great. I was expecting them to do something more with it and they didn't. So it didn't satisfy me. And the story was never like a good story. Like the story of Dracula, it's a classic because it was like one of the first of its time and it kind of defined a genre. But the actual story is kind of nonsensical. There's a vampire who lives in a castle, but he gets a guy to sell him a house somewhere else so he can move into that house just so he can be close to this woman he wants to seduce. But he can speak to her like telepathically or whatever from the distance he's already at. So like you can fly or whatever, like you can shapeshift, you can teleport. Like why do you even need to buy a house?
There's a lot of classics that I think deserve to be classics. Let me just say that. Absolutely deserve to be classics that have, when you if you examine them to death, and this is a lesson in examining things to death.
Or just a cursory examination.
Or you just, honestly, some surface level examination start to unravel pretty quickly. The one that I love to now, even though it's one of my favorite books of all time, for sure, the one I love to pick apart now is The Hobbit. Right. The Hobbit has and it's a fantasy kids book, but there's a lot of things in it that when you start to think about, think for 2 seconds, don't add up, or are masterful storytelling that is Tolkien showing and not telling.
Right.
The one that comes to mind being, and I think this is, I honestly don't know where I fall on it, is the goblins being mad at the dwarves for killing the great goblin when Gandalf kills the great goblin, I think is show don't tell storytelling. Because, spoilers for The Hobbit.
Yeah.
At least in the book, I don't remember the movie, but the book, Gandalf is the one who does the lightning flash, kills the great goblin, the dwarves get out of there. And then the rest of the movie, whenever it talks about the goblins, they're mad at the dwarves for the killing of the great goblin. Which is kind of but they didn't do that. Which I think that's show don't tell, Gandalf masterfully manipulating the whole thing in the same way he puts Bilbo in there. I think that's that. The other one that I've been thinking about lately that I'm pretty sure makes almost no sense is how you're familiar with The Hobbit, right? Before I start going on even more.
I mean, it's not nearly as familiar as I am with the Lord of the Rings.
Is the elves' involvement in the Battle of the Five Armies. To me makes no sense. And I love The Hobbit, but it makes no sense because they show up to help the lake men, even though the elves in this are really to themselves. That rhymed.
The elves are to themselves.
Which they show up to help, and then they're all ready to fight the dwarves. They're all a part of that. And I just do not get that. I don't know why they didn't dip and get out there. If you're a Tolkien scholar and you're silly kid, you don't understand this, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. And so many of the problems, and this is something I like about it, but it's just an observation. It's just an observation, is so many of the problems, conflict resolution of that book, that story involve food. And I love that. They're hungry, they need food. They went here to get some food, things went bad. They are lost in the woods and they need food. Well, they were going to be, they were going to be food to to the trolls. They were gonna, and it's Gollum wants to eat Frodo, or not Frodo. Shows how much I know.
Blah.
So, the namesake of this episode is movies Andy's never seen, Napoleon Dynamite.
Right. And so, speaking of all those classics, another classic that you hadn't seen up to this point is Napoleon
Oh,
Dynamite.
yeah. I don't know where we were going there for a
Well,
second.
because we
That's
were
a
talking
better
about classics.
transition, yes.
And we, so
Yeah.
you watched it, what, last night?
Last night,
Okay.
my dad and I watched it
Is
together.
this the first time he ever saw it?
It was the first time he ever seen it, too.
Oh, wow.
So
this
we
is
watched
interesting.
it together, and I can confidently say we both really liked it.
Really?
Yes.
See, I wasn't
And
sure
like
how you were gonna
honestly,
feel about
might
it.
watch it again.
Really?
I would probably watch it again sometime soon, just to like make sure I get things
See,
done. I really like it.
I had no clue how you were going to feel about it.
I really liked it.
Okay, so paint the picture for me. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this movie for weeks. So you watched it last night when?
Like
9, 10,
9.
there?
I made sure to like keep it a little later.
Okay. So you start the movie.
Yeah.
And the opening credits start.
Yeah.
It's all food and random junk. How are we feeling about
I thought that was neat. I was like,
Okay.
I didn't expect this.
Yeah, you know, is that the White Stripes, I think, that plays over that?
It's Jack
Yeah,
White.
Jack White.
The music from Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend.
There we go. Yeah, as you would know it. That's,
Yeah.
See, my introduction to it was Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
But yours is, but that's fine. I mean, I'm feeling old now, but whatever. Okay. Anyway, because this movie came out, you were 1 when this movie came out.
Yeah.
I saw this movie when I was about 9 or 10.
Did you see it in the theater?
No, we
Okay.
rented it, but I saw it when I was like 9 or 10, 11 at the latest. So I saw it relatively within the time
Yeah.
of it coming out. So, okay, so the movie starts, Napoleon's standing there, center frame, waiting for the bus. And that organ music starts up.
Yeah.
Like, I really wanted to be a fly on the wall the moment that starts, because I think it's the moment most people immediately look at the movie and go, what is this
I
going to
think
be?
part of, and like I was saying this to Dad when we were watching the movie. I think so much of, I said it in different words, but so much of the language of that movie has made it into pop culture that I knew what it was. It was not something new.
Okay.
And that didn't hurt. I don't think that necessarily, I think it helped.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying,
It probably
and I
helps with
knew,
your enjoyment of it.
yeah. And and that's to say, I was fairly confident some of the things I was seeing were from, influences were mostly from like Napoleon Dynamite or things of the era and not things that are now. Because I know how time works. But there was a lot, even like that, a lot of the funny like music has like totally made it into like shorts on the internet. So I kind of got what it was, and I was kind of like, what's going on? He puts the action figure out the window, and we were kind of like, what? I was like, huh? And but like even he like the one kid asks him
What are
like
you gonna do today, Napoleon?
yeah, and he's like, oh, and
I feel like, gosh.
yeah, and Dad started laughing. And I was like, okay, and that was part of the fun for me was watching my dad watch this movie that like I knew all my friends really liked. And just gauging his reaction on it, and he laughed at he really liked it, because I think again like he gets that it's just goof, and I think maybe the moment it won me over for sure was like when Kip was like, "You're just mad because I'm talking to babes all day." Like, what's going on? I really liked it. I don't know. I liked the kind of like it's not. I think this is where words in the right way to describe comedy. I don't want to sound like a loser or something, but like it's deadpan, right? Kind of, it's goof.
Yeah.
This goofy deadpan is very much like the way me and my friends joke around. I mean, we don't go gosh, but it's something akin to it. It's related. So like, I could understand that like you're not supposed to take this seriously, which I think if you're like used to a normal comedy where it's like I'm just average guy and I have problems with women. Oh,
That's what every movie with an average guy who has problems with women, he goes, oh, like
why don't the babes talk to me more?
Yeah, he's starting to sound like he's from Jersey now.
Oh, there's drones in the sky.
He was smart. You know, he could make like cheeseburgers.
Look, I've been working at the same burger joint since I was a youngin', and hey Terry, how we doing? I'm still having my problems with babes.
They were great.
Yeah.
That's him working on the grill.
That's
Not
him working
peeing
on the
for
grill.
you listeners.
No, that's definitely,
there
it was him peeing.
There was.
And he was miming peeing. He's trying to get out of it now, but to the
That's
listeners.
way you. Anyways,
Yeah, so Napoleon Dynamite.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. I want you. Do you want to guide this? I don't know if you just want like my stream of consciousness.
However you want to do it.
The movie was like shockingly had very beautiful cinematography and like very interesting cinematography.
I don't know if I'd say beautiful.
Interesting,
but
like
interesting.
very like asymmetric, like not trying to be Wes Anderson, but like non-traditional frames, which like sign me up. And implied shade. We'll just leave that there. But I don't know. I really liked it. We sticked around through the credits, which I'm glad we did.
Over that little end credit scene. Yeah, most people don't. I always forget the end credit scenes there. Because here's the thing. I hadn't seen the movie in about 15 years. And so I rewatched it about 5 days ago. Just to kind of brush up on it. And it was amazing how much I remembered. I didn't really forget anything, but it was amazing how much I forgot how certain things felt. It was amazing how much I forgot how amateurish a lot of like the edits are at the start of the movie. They're just like really bad J&L cuts. And what I realized upon rewatching it now is that the entire charm of that movie and the reason it works is because it's not polished.
Yeah, it's
everything
not.
Like the cinematography you're talking about, the performances, everything is just film school level. And that's why it works.
Yeah,
no other movie works for that reason.
I don't know. It like there's a weird part of that movie that's nostalgic, which I can't quite articulate that yet.
Well, a lot of it uses
Stay tuned.
archaic,
but like
very outdated. I mean, there's Walkmans and moon boots and
not even,
cars.
but like relatable, right? Because like any movie that's like we're not part of the cool kids in high school or whenever they're supposed to be in school in that movie, like I relate to. But this one was so just goofy and fun. Like I don't know, I really liked it.
See, I'm glad. I was
concerned. Like all the characters I really liked. I love Kip and Lufonda. That might be my favorite part of the movie.
She's definitely my soulmate.
When Kip and Uncle Rico are talking at the diner, whenever that's a thing, it's so great because they're like they like buddy up in that movie, and it's so like not what you expect. But there's so much of that I feel like is true to life. That like there'll be these random two dudes who are like, it's like his uncle and a guy who's like he's making some sweet moolah. It's like
I made like $75 today.
It's like that. I don't know. There's part of that that's just like, no, I could see that. I mean, it's not like trying to be realistic at all, this movie, but like, no, I could see that happening like to a buddy of mine or like, I don't know. It's good. And yeah.
So that's your stream of consciousness.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
my stream of consciousness. And let's see if there's anything else I can think of with this. I'll tell you what I don't like. I think should have been a bigger laugh in the Matsky household and wasn't, or like supposed to be funnier, is like the end dance thing. Was like
the
funny,
Jamiroquai dance.
but it wasn't like we weren't rolling.
Right.
It was like
I think
he's
that's just more of a moment to just kind of enjoy what's happening.
Yeah,
I don't know,
and that's what we were. It wasn't like we weren't like the dance, boo.
I mean, that was what. So I think what would be interesting is now that we've kind of gotten like just initial like, and then there was this and then there was this, is to kind of guide it down, not so much scene by scene, but kind of moment to moment, because I'm very interested in, obviously you were much more on board with this thing right out of the gate than I initially anticipated you would be.
Oh my gosh, when they shoot the cow.
Yes. This is possibly
so
my favorite
funny.
scene.
Like
in the whole thing.
and then it cuts and then it's gone. And then I loved that. And I think Dad and I both really loved the farmer guys who like drink the eggs. And then there's the one who's like, I'm not bad enough male. And airhead. Yeah. It's like, we loved that. Because that's true to life, having been living, done places, you know?
Places, people, farmers.
Things.
People, places, things, so many people.
Yeah. So first scene, he's got the action figure.
Yeah.
That gets a laugh.
That was like, what's going on?
Right. And that's the general vibe.
Yeah.
When the movie first starts, you're just like,
I think it's just there to confuse you.
Yeah.
Because there
Most of
isn't
the
like
openings confuse you.
It's not like,
There's really not a lot
I
of
get
plot.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And the plot really doesn't, what little plot there is doesn't even get going until about an hour in,
Yeah.
which is the whole vote for Pedro thing. Up to that point, it's just a bunch of vignettes
Yeah.
and like some subplots with like Kip and Uncle Rico. But Napoleon himself
Kip and Uncle
doesn't
Rico,
have
and
much of
then
a plot.
Deb is
Yeah.
woven there.
Yeah.
But that's not even the plot of the movie, because like her
mom goes to college.
like
And that the fact that that upsets her so much that she runs away
Yeah.
is hilarious because it's not even a good put down.
yeah. And like, but that story reaches its like fulfillment
Mm-hmm.
like with 20 minutes left in the
Yeah.
movie, right?
Mhm.
They're like dancing, and then like the plot's still
It just
going.
keeps going, yeah. No, so okay, so we get through that. We get to the Happy Hands Club,
That knocked our socks off.
which, I mean, I don't know if you noticed. At first, they're doing proper like sign language, and pretty soon it just kind of derails into whatever. And then the person's still singing, but they're just like, I don't know if they only had so much sign language or what the idea
And
was
I don't
there.
like, that's another thing that's like, that awkwardness of that is so true to like, I've been in moments like that where you're just sitting there and you're like, what's happening?
And then Don, the guy, the jock or whatever, who looks like he's about 35. Because he and John Heater really don't look like they're in high school anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody else you pretty much believe. You believe Deb and Pedro, but
Pedro
everybody else,
kinda.
I think he might have been one of the oldest cast members there because he was in stuff like in the early 90s or mid 90s, somewhere in there. But so, okay, so then we get through that. And then Tina, you fat lard, come get some dinner.
Yeah. Pretty
Fantastic stuff. Yeah. The fight that they have with see what happens. You come down here and try to hit me. Both know I'm trained to become a cage fighter.
good. Trained to become a cage fighter. Yeah.
They go to see Rex Kwon Do.
That's so good. That's good. The Rex Kwon Do, but yeah, we can't skip the fight because
Yeah.
it's like they both do like,
Yeah.
And then
one
they're
slap.
done.
Yeah, and that was it. And then,
and then
ding dong.
and then it's one more slap.
Yeah. But one really hard slap.
Yeah.
That like slaps the crap out of him. Yeah. The fight is possibly the most perfectly choreographed fight ever committed to film, if we want to. I mean, in terms of like realism. Because everybody in movies is like so.
Yeah.
And here it's just like, that's it.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
They're done.
Because he's talking to babes all day.
Both talking to babes. Now you see, when Uncle Rico shows up, that was always one of my favorite parts when I was a
Grandma's
kid.
at the dunes.
Grandma's at the dunes with her
And she
boyfriend.
goes, whoo.
Broke her coccyx.
Yeah.
Now Rico's his van, his like weird
He's
get up.
back in 82. He's
Yeah.
like the heart of that movie. Uncle Rico, the guy who's like a perv, is the heart of that movie.
He's the worst character, but he's great.
Yeah.
He shows up and he's like, tells him what happened. And he's like, when did she have a boyfriend or whatever? He's like, seems like there's a lot you don't know about her.
Yeah.
Walks through the door. And he's constantly eating milk and steak. Like the nastiest looking milk and the nastiest looking
He's
steak. All the food in this movie.
Yeah, he's the milk and steak, and he has this moment. We're skipping ahead a bit, but when he's like, think about back in '82, there's such heart, and the movie, like talking about like editing, the shot just stays on him,
Yeah.
and he's just going through, and like the acting's like he's actually like a drama all of a sudden where he's like,
that's John Grice. John Grice. I could be mispronouncing that. He's a character actor. He's been in a million things. He was in Men in Black.
and
in
he's
a bunch of
like,
stuff.
just that's what like back in '82.
I could throw a football over the mountains. What do you want to bet?
Yeah,
No doubt in my mind.
yeah, and he's like, coach would put me in, like
We would have been state champions.
I would have made it pro.
Be in a hot tub soaking up with my soulmate. And then there's that like
So
wistful
good.
moment where he like his
Yes,
expression.
he like that's what I'm talking about. Like he has this like it's like this moment where he's like oh man, if only one.
Yeah.
And like you can see it.
There's regret in his
yeah,
eyes.
and it's like
Yeah.
it's like and he throws Kip's. Is it then he throws Kip's steak or not?
It was a little after that
Yeah.
because then we have a cutscene and it's when Pedro delivers the cake. Ding dong ditch, run away, and then they're riding back.
Yeah.
He's like, check this out. And he grabs the steak and just swings it, slaps him over the head. Funny, we will get into a bit of making of here as we go, but just because we're on that one, funny little making of story there. They only had a few takes because they only had so much film, and they had one of their like 80s or something or a PA throw this steak at John Heater, and they kept missing. And like one would hit here, one would hit here, one would hit too high. And so John Grease used to play baseball. And he's like, I can hit him. We can get this in one more take, but I'm going to have to hit him hard. they're like, John, are you okay with it? He goes, yeah, go for it. And they go, action. And he hits him. And he hits him so hard that the stake knocks his glasses off, and it rips his glasses off and actually cut him. The metal from the glasses cut him, and they had to like stitch him up after the take. But like, yeah, they got that.
Yeah, a lot of the hits in this movie, that's what makes like the physical comedy work, is they're like that slap during the fight.
Yeah, they're just
like,
hitting each other.
It's real. Like, it's like, oh, wow.
I think my absolute favorite moment is a toss-up still to this day, because when I rewatched it a few days ago, I laughed just as hard as I did the second and third and fourth time. And that would be, it's equal between the cow and when you've got that shot for like a moment where Rico's just driving the van, and all of a sudden that grapefruit hits the windshield, and he's got that woman scream. That, something about men screaming like a woman and being scared is just one of the funniest like, darn things to me.
The cow moment, Kip and Lufanda, where he shows up in the do-rag, like my bread and butter. Okay, like
I knew you'd at least be able to get behind that. I knew it.
Like that right there, where he's just like, he's like, peace out. Or like that whole.
She totally turned him straight in like a matter of a day.
Yeah. Or when she like gives him the necklace and takes off his glasses, like that's it's so good.
And what about the music they're playing during that? They're like sitting there with the smoothies, like
yeah, and that's all it is. There's no dialogue.
The whole thing, yeah, it's a fantastic scene.
And then to cut to the end again, like recapping Kip and Lufanda, is during the wedding when she says "I do," like the one black guy is like, it's so, and he stays like that because the movie cuts back to him like lifting up from it so much later. But it's like when he starts saying like always.
That song is unbearable. I almost can't deal with the song. It's so cringe inducing. That song like almost put me off. The face palm when she's like, I do, like, and then her family's like, what's going on? And he rides up on the horse for so long. Like it keeps cutting back to him. And he's still riding. Was it I forget, was it like, I brought you the sweet steed or the stallion or something like that?
It's like honeymoon stallion.
Yeah. Honeymoon stallion. Yeah, because there's like, it's a liger. It's pretty much my favorite animal. It's bred for its skills and magic. You know, the thing you need to understand though is, as far as my background on the movie, is I watched it once and I didn't fully get it the first time I watched it. And the second time I watched it, it got funnier, it got funnier, it got funnier. And then a friend of mine and I from high school, we met when we were about 13. And we bonded over two movies, Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre, which is like the very next movie that Jared Hess, the director, made. And it got to the point where we had seen those movies so many times, we could recite them in their entirety to each other. And we would quote them so incessantly that everyone around us, our families, I don't know how we didn't get murdered, because when I think back on it, it was obnoxious. Like the amount, we didn't even have a vocabulary. There were no original thoughts between us for like 3 years. It was just Napoleon and Nacho quotes. Ad nauseum, wash, rinse, repeat. So there's so much of this movie that's still in my mind that I can't shake, even if I wanted to.
I feel like my friends who always talked about this movie didn't quite do it justice, because they make it like a bro, you gotta watch it movie, which I think is like a text I literally sent you. And I love my like, hey friends who recommend this movie to me, I love you. But like, if it's not just like a bro, you gotta watch it movie, because that makes it sound like it's a normal movie, like to your point, but it's something like very,
it's a classic,
unique.
It's a modern classic, and it shouldn't be, because it technically isn't well acted for the most part, with the exception of a few notable performances. It's not technically well photographed. It's exposed.
Yeah,
it's not compositionally immaculate.
There's some shots in that movie that are poorly lit.
Yeah, like
bad,
objectively bad.
Yeah,
worse than even our current setup right now.
like there's just clearly a light.
Yeah, it's just
here,
a light,
and then like the other person's well lit. Because
and and there's some bad edits, especially at the beginning. Like if you watch the movie, I'm realizing now, if you watch it, you can actually see them get better at editing as the movie goes on, because the first 10 minutes are rough.
I didn't notice that, but
there's some pretty
really
rough.
Wasn't looking.
It's like it's a J cut and an L cut, like when you hear somebody speaking before you cut to them, and you'll hear me speaking for like this long before you cut to me, and it's like really awkward. And I don't know if they did that on purpose, but it doesn't really work, and it doesn't make it any funnier. It's just awkward.
That's true. Yeah, it takes. Yeah.
So, but yet, despite all of its film school charm, or because of its film school charm, it is a classic, and it redefined what a teen movie was, and it entered I mean, I can't think of too many people other than yourself, but now you know who, know and you even knew some of the quotes and things before you saw the movie because it had permeated the culture that much.
Yeah.
And I mean, for goodness sake, think anybody wants a roundhouse kick to the face when I'm wearing these bad boys? Forget about it. Like that. And then think anybody thinks I'm a failure because I go home to Starla at night? Like that lady, I'm sorry, that's a frightening woman.
And then she comes up later. That was great. Like a throwaway joke becomes a character.
She comes back. Because Rico's got the pots around the boob claws, and then he comes in and you just see him go like that. And then you hear it from outside, come here, boy. And you just hear him getting beat up. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. Speaking of Uncle Rico, he's back playing football in that field with his band.
Just throwing it just off camera.
And a girl rides up on a bike.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's his old girlfriend. Like earlier.
Yeah, they mentioned that, but that's like there's no dialogue. Mm-hmm. That kind of works itself out. I think that's so funny.
Yeah.
Like here's kind of the answer to what was going on earlier. Kind of.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Yeah, it gives you just enough. I think oddly that might have been Aaron Rule, the Kip. I think that might have been his wife playing the woman who rides up on the bicycle. I'm not 100% sure. I think it was. Because almost everybody in this movie, if they weren't either John Grease or Diedrich Bader, who was Rex Kwon Do, those are like the only real actors in the movie, and everybody else would just I think it was it University of University of something. I forget where they were at. It was like a university in like either, I want to say it was in Utah, but it was just them and like their friends and other students making the movie. But so there's that, there's all those moments, there's the steak moment, I'm trying to just kind of run down a Rolodex here of moments in the movie that may have struck you. But ultimately, I'm very interested and very impressed that this worked out as well as it did. Because I knew you'd at least be able to get behind some of it. I knew you'd be able to get behind like the Kip LaFonda thing. I knew that would work. I like, I figured you would be able to dig it. I just wasn't sure like if you were going to be watching the movie going, okay, but why? Like, why was this recommended?
Oh, no.
Because there are certainly people that like don't get it at all.
Yeah.
And, it is objectively kind of crappy.
It's weird. Like, I was worried it would be like so, I don't know, like it would be awkward in the way that like, I don't know, like gut, like not gut punches, but what am I trying to say? Like it would just be awkward because they're bringing up awkward things, not because they just are awkward people. I was kind of worried it would be that, and it's really not. I mean, it has its moments, but I thought that would be the whole. I was worried that would be the vibe, and it's not. They are awkward, but it's not like they're bringing up crude. It's not crude. I guess that's what I'm saying. It's not only crude.
Right. So you're drinking
the time 1%. Machine.
Is that because you think you're fat? The time machine is that's a phenomenal.
That shows up and then
I love. Here's what's great about that.
And then he walks in.
He walks in, and he's like, "I could have told you that," like that. Here's what's great about that. And I didn't notice it until this last time I watched it. I've seen this movie like 100 times. I didn't notice it until this last time, just last week when I watched it. So, of course, it electrocutes you, and you see Uncle Rico walk in, and he's kind of staggering. And then what's funny is the scene immediately preceding that. He's still kind of staggering around while they're shopping, but Napoleon's not. And at first, I thought, wait a minute, is this just not them paying attention to continuity? And then I thought, I'm going to give them the credit. I think what it is a character detail that Uncle Rico tried it, didn't work, tried it again, didn't work, and then may have even tried it a third time and went, okay, I guess it just doesn't work, because that's the only,
I think, like, that's kind of, I think that's probably it, is the idea that either he tried it so often or tried it so much the first time, he's like still sore from like, he like stuck it out thinking he'd be back to 82.
Exactly. And that's what's so funny about it, because Napoleon tried it for like a few seconds, like, no, screw it. And I like the idea that he just kept trying it because like maybe it just needs to warm up. Maybe one more time. And then you're just staggering around for the rest of the scene. It's fantastic. It really is. Make yourself a dang quesadilla. I mean, there's just too many things you can quote, too many things you can say about just the quotes of it. But so, all right. So on a rating, a star rating,
I'd put it.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough rate. Because there's your enjoyment factor, and then there's the is this objectively good?
Objectively, yeah.
It objectively, I think, is a lower
I
rating
think it's like
than
a
enjoyment.
6,
Right.
5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
But enjoyment, it's probably like a 7 or an 8. I had a really fun time watching it, and I also like, here's the bias, and here it's very sweet, is that like Dad and I stayed up to watch it.
Yeah.
I was like, you should stay up and watch this movie with me, and he did.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was like a really fun time because we don't watch movies with each other a lot.
Need to do it.
We should do it more. I agree, but like we
Just don't watch Nosferatu together.
we'll be bored. It's the problem.
You'll be bored, and then for like one scene, you'll be like, "This is a little uncomfortable." But other than that,
So like that was like my enjoyment of watching Napoleon Dynamite was quite high, and I'd say it has my heart.
it has your heart.
Yeah.
Wow, this is 2 in a row.
I know, which is like I kind of want to be hesitant and a little harder on Napoleon Dynamite, just so I'm not like I love it,
Right.
but I'm like I'm not a hard sell with movies.
You can be. You can
I
be
can
on
be.
certain things. And
I
this
think
is
if it's
why I
too dark,
wasn't
if it's
sure.
like dark and gritty, I think I'm like it has to be done well.
Yeah. And
Which
so
is
many
like
of them
why
aren't.
like the Fugitive not being that. Which granted it's a different time, but like
Sure.
you can't just I liked it though. I mean I get why people like it.
Yeah. Well, and now you're officially you've been inducted into the culture of
Yeah.
the Napoleon Dynamite. And so the only thing that really I have to even add to this conversation is like a few things that might improve your enjoyment of certain scenes, or like little things that, little tidbits of things. But this is why I figured we would start with.
And
a few
I'm
other
almost
things.
glad I was thinking of this kind of while I was watching the movie, was like I'm almost glad I didn't watch this movie till now. Because like I don't know, like in high school if I would have had the same
I think you still would've
enjoyment
liked
of
it.
it. I still
Yeah.
would have liked it,
Yeah.
but it would have been a different type of like it's just like us
Yeah.
in the moment, as opposed to being like, yeah, that's kind of what it was like.
It may have,
Even though I
threatened to
like
take
my
over
high
your
school
life too
experience
much.
was not like getting bullied and like being the loser. Kinda.
And
like
I mean, I don't know if you ever used vernacular like butt nugget.
yeah, no. We didn't have tater tots.
You didn't have tater tots.
Unfortunately.
Those tots, man. I actually
And I didn't run ever for like president, or neither did
no,
any of my friends.
no.
So.
Also, here's a weird thing, that just as an aside. Do they even do class president in schools? Is that even a
yeah.
thing? Because you see that in movies all the time.
Oh yeah, you're homeschooled.
Yeah, I never.
Yes,
I never
they do
did it.
that.
Do they have
We-
hall monitors in school? Because that's the thing you always see in movies and TV. And I don't
we
think it
didn't
exists.
really, but we didn't have a like. So I went to a private Christian school. Listeners at home who may not know that, the two of you who don't know me personally or didn't remember that. So we didn't have hall monitors, but because there were always teachers in the hall in between classes, you needed hall passes
Right.
or late passes to get like.
I mean, to be fair, I've been in a public school once for one day.
So
I
like
know
you
how-
need that.
I
You
know
don't
how, like,
necessarily
hall
need
passes
hall
work.
passes. To be honest, I don't think it kind of depended where you were at. If you, yeah, it depended where you were at, because some classes were like right by the bathroom, so it was like, just
You
go.
just sneak out. Yeah.
So, yes, we did. We do have class. We had class presidents. I think we had class presidents. Yeah, we had class presidents, and we had student body presidents and stuff like that, and student body chaplains at Cornerstone.
Yeah.
And we had president and vice president and chaplain, I think.
See, I'm surprised.
Yeah,
Because
and
I
then
just thought that was all stuff
apparently
they did for movies.
the like senior class president like has continuing duties with the senior class.
Like what?
Ours doesn't do very well. Keeping you like up to date on like if they're doing alumni stuff.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure what the.
I think is what's supposed to happen. This is one of those situations where I probably should talk to the person before I say it on a podcast, but
That's not how it works at all.
the person's probably not watching.
No,
My
no.
class president's probably not watching.
But your hall monitor is.
Yeah.
He was hiding in the lockers. You had hall monitors. They
We
were
just didn't
really,
know.
Yeah, they were like wearing.
We had an
camo.
office where if you needed to like call, even like in our day and age, like if you had to call, sometimes you'd have to use their phone.
nurse.
No, it's gross.
got like 5 sticks in a drawer.
I know it.
I like how desperate he was to try to get back to grating his cheese.
I'm busy doing something. He's making.
busy right now.
Yeah, that got dad. I remember.
Also, the cheese pile
Yeah.
keeps getting bigger and smaller.
Does it?
Yeah, between cuts because they've mixed a bunch of different takes together. So sometimes it's got a lot, sometimes it's got a little.
Really?
It just
That's
keeps
funny.
changing. Yeah. So okay. So we'll make this quick because we're actually making our time quite well. I don't know if we'll need to At what point does the audio like stop
A
recording?
while.
A while.
We still have a take from before going.
Oh,
So I
good.
know we were good.
Good. So, fun facts about the movie that may increase your enjoyment here. The movie was low budget. The movie was made for $400,000, which is kind of a lot when you think
Yeah.
about what's on camera, but also not a lot when you think about shooting on film and everything. It was shot in Preston, Idaho in July. It was like one of the hottest summers they had. And they shot it in the high school where the director went initially. That was his high school.
Oh, that's cool.
And so he's Jared Hess and his wife. They're like a writer-director duo. I don't know how much you know about them. They're members of Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, so they're Mormons.
Really?
Yeah, and they live in Utah, I believe, or at least they were in Utah for a while. And Jared met John Heder, the star, while at film school, and Aaron Rule as well, who was Kip. And so they made a short film in 2002 called Palooka. They shot it on 16 millimeter black and white. It was 9 minutes long. And it was basically just following this kind of proto-Napoleon character around, kind of doing nothing. And then he kind of dances like in a field, and like that's it. Like it's I've seen the short. It was on the extra features on the DVD. It's pretty basic, pretty awful. Somebody somewhere saw it and went, "You should make a movie out of this," and convinced him to drop out of film school and get funding to make the movie. And so they got the funding, and they made the movie. They shot it in 23 days, which is kind of a ridiculously long time considering they weren't doing that many takes. But
Yeah.
but the entire town basically put them up for free to a certain point because they didn't have a whole lot of money. And I don't know if they even had a hotel. From what I read, it just said the town put them up. So I don't know what that means exactly. But it's a pretty barren, like there's not a lot there. And it was such a small town, everyone knew the movie. Like if you could call anybody on the phone, it's like, "Oh, we're with the movie. Yeah, we know where you are. We know where the movie is." And that was Summer Wheatley was played by Haley Duff, which was Hilary Duff. You remember Hilary Duff? She was, I think
so.
Yeah. Forget if she was Nickelodeon or Disney, but that was her sister. So there were a lot of just kind of random people thrown into the movie. A lot of them were friends. And the part that we love so much with the cows and the shooting and the kids. So that's a real thing that happened. And it was that farmer. That farmer is the guy that the director knows. His name's, I forget what it is. It's Lyle in the movie. I forget if that's his real name in real life, but that's just him. That's the way he talks. Like that moment when he's like, "Shiny arrowheads over there." That wasn't in the script. They were just rolling and eating lunch, and he just started telling them about how he saw some arrowheads over there. Yeah. Because that's why he just says it and then goes back to eating. Because he didn't even really think about it. Apparently, when he was waiting for the bus, he was out there and he shot a cow. And so they were like, "Let's recreate it." And they were getting ready to do the shot, except they couldn't find a cow. And they're like, "The sun's going to be setting in like an hour. We got to find a cow." And so the production assistant started just panicking, going, "Okay, we got to find a cow. We got to find a cow. Where are we going to get a cow?" And so he goes, I just got on the phone. Yeah, he didn't even do the phone book. Let me get this right. He goes, "I got on the phone, and I knew that the area codes and like the way the numbers were, it's such a small town. I knew that this was very similar to the town where I live, which was like right next door." He goes, "So I kind of just figured I'll just dial a number, and it'll probably be a live number." He goes, "I dialed a number. It rang. Some guy answered. He was kind of in a bad mood. This guy, I caught him. He had just sat down to dinner. And he goes, "Look, we're with the movie." He goes, all of a sudden this guy's demeanor changed. It's like, "Oh, the movie. Yeah. Well, how can I help?" He goes, "Well, we need a cow and we need it here in like a half hour." He goes, "I've got a show cow that just did blah, blah, blah. It's like really pristine, Holstein, and I can have it there in like 20 minutes. He goes, "Well, okay, well, our address is," he goes, "Don't worry, I know where you're at." And he came and he brought a cow. Now, think about that. You dialed a number without a phone book. It was a live number. It was a person who knew
And
you
they
had a cow.
Yeah.
And they were 20 minutes from you. And they got it to you. And then they shot the scene.
Wow.
Obviously, those two moments happened slightly apart from each other. But, there were a lot of that kind of thing. The whole, like, Napoleon being a bedwetter, like, that was the thing with the director and all his brothers. Like, they were major bedwetters into, like, their teens. And there's just a lot of weird things about the movie that were true. That school was his school. The town was, I think, only a few hundred people. It wasn't a lot of people in that town.
That's awesome. I like it.
Yeah.
That's good.
It was good stuff. There's really not a whole lot of like
I kind of can't really like say. I don't know if I can. I have much more of a take.
Yeah, there's not much else you can say. It's good. It works in the fact that it's basically somebody funded a little more than a high school project.
Yeah.
And a lot of things were, I mean, they had a script, but a lot of other things were improvised. That whole moment where like Kip and Uncle Rico are sitting at the table discussing their strategy, and Kip's talking about, well, it's going to be like a 3-hour chat room. It's going to be like this. He's like, is that, like, you pay for that by minute, like for like minutes on a phone? He's like, yeah. Well, I'll tell you something else. I'll be throwing you out the window. That was all improvised. There are a bunch of things like that. And the moment where they're in Rex Kwon Do, and you notice Kip is like really like lethargic in that. He had a splitting migraine headache when they were shooting that. And they did take after take, and the guy kept hitting him in the head.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's
there's that.
awful.
And then there's just a bunch of scenes off the spine where like they're tasting milk for the county and doing whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that has nothing to do with anything.
And that,
Yeah.
that where like that comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
Oh, and then I think this is the last thing. The last thing that I remember that is even kind of interesting is because most of the filming is relatively uneventful. It's just like, we just shot it, But the whole like Tupperware and Kip's going to back over it, and then he's so disappointed by the fact that it breaks and he just drives away. That was originally not what they wanted it to do. They had one that had cement in it, and the joke was going to be that he ran over it, and he was going to be like, cool, because like it holds up. And then at the last minute, I don't know who decided, but somebody was like, hey, what if we just put a real one under there and just, would that be funnier? And they went, let's try it. And it was way funnier, and they went, yeah, let's just do that. That was kind of the way the movie went.
I love
let's just do it.
He calls it and drives away.
And she's still just standing there.
Yeah. And maybe this can be our closing comment. When Uncle Rico is selling and he has the ship and the wife's like, I want that.
Yeah. I don't know if you've noticed up to this point,
like,
or maybe like your hindsight, you kind of go back through your Rolodex of any of our interactions. I don't know if you've noticed, but I still to this day say, how are we feeling about that 32-piece set? Anytime we're working on something and we want to like, I say that to my dad all the time. I say it around STM and no one knows what I'm talking about, but that's what it is.
I can know now.
It's the little ship. I want that.
So good. Well,
okay. Bye everybody.
Bye. Maybe whoever will put this at the end. If you like the show, like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends. That's honestly just all we want. Just tell your friends.
Vote
I like
on
the
what
show.
movie Andy needs to see next.
Vote. Suggest movies that you like, and maybe I'll like them too.
Remember the boob clause.
Remember the boob clause. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Well, no, next week, not tomorrow.
Today. Later.
See you later.
The only problem